Hey kids, we're here with K.O. Skinsness. He's the president of Stomvi-USA. He's also a designer of mouthpieces and a student of acoustic science as it pertains to our trumpet world. So on a final note, having explored a lot of information that you know and were kind enough to enlighten us, the viewer, my ultimate question, I guess, is, so what makes Stomvi equipment or the trumpets or the mouthpieces, what makes it different than other manufacturers out there?
Basically, in my opinion, our gear's easier to play with a modern resonant sound. There are things you can do to make mouthpieces or trumpets have nice high resonance peaks, which makes them easy to play, but it doesn't necessarily mean those peaks are in the right position relative to the others. In other words, those high resonance peaks aren't necessarily in tune with the rest of the instrument. Well, why can't we have both? Well, it turns out that Vicente was getting both, because his instruments and mouthpieces were in tune and had big full resonance sounds. They were getting the intonation and they were getting the high resonance peaks, so he was getting these big resonant sounds that were in tune, but clearer and more modern, because he was trying to come up with ways to improve the sound of the trumpet, both on the trumpet and the mouthpiece side of things. And when a guy's playing an instrument that's well in tune with itself, and that means the mouthpiece has to be correct, and the gap has to be correct, and it's got to be a well in tune instrument, the timbre is the same from the top to the bottom of the horn. It's the same timbre. You don't hear timbre changes when they change registers. You don't hear they play a scale and a couple notes they sound weird, you know. It's consistent timbre throughout the register. Anybody can hear that. A good player, a great player with good ears, or even average ears, can move the fundamental around, but they can't move the harmonics around. The harmonics are generated or not generated, thus the timbre changes. So sometimes I hear great players on expensive gear or well-known gear, and yeah, they're playing in tune on the fundamental, but the timbre's changing all over the place and they're not getting a full resonant sound. So Stomvi mouthpieces and trumpets, we always go for intonation. We go for intonation plus the high resonance peaks, and that gives you the best of both worlds. It gives you ease of play, but good intonation with consistent timbre and a big full resonant modern sound, meaning it's got clarity along the way.
Interesting. Well, I sure appreciate all the time you've given us, and I hope that it's been a little bit fun for you to do all this.
It's been a lot of fun in a Hey Kids kind of way. No, it's been a great time. Thanks for interviewing me. And you know what I say? Hey kids, see you later.